Why Canadians Travel Mexico. Hi, broadcasting not live from Mazatlan, Mexico. I'm Bill the Geek. This is the Bill Dallas Lewis channel, and we make videos about the joys of living in Mexico. Introducing longtime friend and subscriber, Brian Meadon. Brian lives in Canada, and he has lived in and traveled through many parts of Mexico. He's going to share with us what he likes about his many experiences and trips to and around the wonderful country of Mexico. A very important part of this video comes at the very end when he shares with you the myths about crime in Mexico versus crime in Canada. So Good morning, Brian Meadon. Brian, where the hell are you actually?
I am in Winnipeg, Manitoba, Canada.
Okay.
It's the center of Canada.
Okay.
We're right in the middle. Yeah, very cold in the winter, beautiful in the summer, beautiful in the fall. But it's cold in the winter.
Okay. Now, do you live in a city or do you live on a farm? Where do you live?
No, I'm in Winnipeg is the capital of Manitoba.
Okay.
We only have only a couple cities in Manitoba. We've got Brandon, and we've got only a couple, and then there's Winnipeg, which is the major center.
Okay. So, how long have you been? I mean, I've known you for about 3 years now, and
Yeah, it's going on about 3 years. Yeah.
So how long have you been visiting Mexico?
The very, very first time we went to Mexico, we went to Chihuahua State.
Okay.
I believe.
Okay. Yeah, Chihuahua.
In northern Mexico. And we went to a city called Saltillo.
Okay.
And how we ended up there is that one summer we decided to take international student. And it happened to be this young boy, like he was 13. And my son was 13, so it was a perfect match. And we had him for 8 weeks. His parents just treated us like royalty. I mean, because we were looking after their child.
Okay.
And as you know, in Mexico, the children is everything.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
You know, family is huge. So we decided to fly there. And we landed at the airport. And when I think it was last weekend, I was telling you about my son. He was about 13. No, he was 13, 14. And he got the red flag.
And what Brian's talking about when you get to immigration and get into Mexico, they have a actual stoplight, and it has a red light and a green light. You have to push a button. They say push the button, and then it either turns green, which means you can forget about all problems, or it turns red, and then they go through all your stuff.
Yeah. And my son's looking at me going, "Why, Dad?" And I'm laughing. I'm laughing because I heard about this red and green. And so when it happened, but we stayed 2 weeks in a city with this family. And they decided one weekend we were going to go on a road trip.
Mm-hmm.
And they paid for everything. They took us to Zacatecas, San Miguel, Monterrey, and all through many, many little, you call it pueblos? Is that the little very tiny towns?
Okay.
Like
Pueblos.
population,
Pueblos.
yeah, pueblos.
Uh-huh.
And like population of maybe 50.
Oh, okay. Oh, yeah, yeah. That,
And
uh-huh.
the houses were shacks, but they had big fancy cars in the front of them with satellite dishes. and that and we couldn't speak Spanish. They
Uh-huh.
couldn't speak English. The kids left. Kids are kids. They want to go and meet their friends and everything else. So
Mm-hmm.
we stayed with the family, like the two moms and dads.
Mm-hmm.
And so we're looking at one another, going, "Okay, what?" Like making faces and trying to communicate somehow.
Mm-hmm.
And then the dad went into the cupboard and pulled out the tequila and whiskey.
Ah. Ah.
Wow, that settled everything. International um, language came out, and we
Uh-huh.
had so much fun.
Ah.
And we spent New Year's Eve there, and we celebrated grandmother's, I believe it was 100th birthday.
Oh my God. Yeah.
And
Okay.
I'll tell you, what a party!
Ah.
Oh, oh, I met the entire family, and they just treated us so wonderful. That was the very first time, and I totally fell in love with Mexico.
Okay. Okay.
But I've got a friend of mine that's lived in Mexico now. He lives in Floresta, or something
Oh,
like that in Ajijic.
oh, yeah. Floresta. See. Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
and he lives there. And he's lived in Mexico for about 18 years now. And she has a business
Mm-hmm.
there in Mexico, and she sells health insurance
Okay.
to Americans, Canadians, whoever is looking for health insurance while they're in Mexico, permanent or visiting.
Mm-hmm.
And so that was I've gone there several times, and then I've been to Cozumel
Mm-hmm.
through. We were on a cruise, and we stopped at Cozumel twice, and then my friend we went to Malaki
Oh, yes. Okay. Okay.
and spent a weekend at a resort there, and
Ah.
so I've seen a fair amount of and Porto Vallarta,
Okay.
and unfortunately I miss Mazatlan.
Ah. Well.
you know, but I absolutely love Mexico. I've got a full size Mexican flag.
Hmm.
I bought a like a flask that's you put booze in it or
Mm,
whatever.
mm-hmm.
It's from Mexico. It's got Mexico on it. I've got a little uh, uh, thing of a map. I've got a cactus, fake cactus. I got lanyards saying Mexico. I've got T-shirts saying Mexico, and so I could easily move there. But yeah, I love it.
Ah. And have you, other than Mexico, Canada, have you visited other places on the planet?
Yes, we went to we went on a 7 day cruise to we flew to San Juan, Puerto Rico, and we went to Cayman Islands and St. Martin's and St. Lucia
Mm-hmm.
and a couple more islands that I can't, Barbados,
Mm-hmm.
Dominica, you
Mm-hmm.
know, and then a little bit in the United States. A little
Okay.
bit. I've been to Detroit. I've been to,
Detroit.
and I'll tell you, I'm lucky I came out alive from Detroit.
uh,
Yeah.
uh, Now you talk about your son and your wife. Is your wife still with us?
Oh, we're divorced,
Okay.
but we're still friends.
Okay. Okay.
And she lives at the end of my street.
Oh, okay.
And I talk to her every once in a while.
Oh,
We've gone out for coffee,
uh-huh.
and no, we're still friends. I don't hold grudges to nobody, and um, life is too short for that.
Oh, sure, sure.
Yeah.
Uh, okay. Um, so, so do you think you'll move to Mexico one day, or maybe, or many Canadians come down, they stay for 6 months and go back to Canada, or what? Do you have plans for Mexico?
Well, my dream is to move there, and for the rest of my life. I'm just turning 70 years old.
Okay.
70. Yeah, I'm gonna in November. I'll be 70,
Mm-hmm.
and I've got some health issues that kind of holding me back because of the medicines. Like, for 5 years, I'm in my fifth year. 5 years ago, I had a kidney transplant.
Ooh.
So I've got to take medicine for the rest of my life for that, so I can keep it. And so, I think that I'm only on a limited budget, so I don't think overall I could live there, but I would like to live there for 6 months or 3 months, or to come there every year. But,
Okay.
you know,
Okay. Okay. Yeah, I've been to Malaki and Barra de Navidad. I think that's where the resort is. And they have a golf course there. But I liked Malaki, Barra de Navidad. Is there a certain place that you want? Do you want to visit more of Mexico, or is there a specific?
oh,
Uh, uh,
if I could, I would tour the entire Mexico if I could.
okay.
Yeah, I
Okay.
love to travel. I'm a people's person. I love to speak with people. I like to talk and be friendly and have fun. I don't think I got a mean bone in my body,
Okay. Okay.
So um, yeah, I had so much fun every time I've gone to Mexico.
And now you talked about how much fun you had with the family, but is there something that stands out about Mexico that would be, or could you tell us some of the best things about Mexico that you really enjoy?
I think one of the things is the cobblestone streets. I hate them. I
All right.
hate them, but I love them.
Okay. Okay.
They're so damn hard to walk on,
Mm-hmm.
but they're beautiful.
Yes.
And the paintings of all the buildings and the museums and the churches, and it's just breathtaking. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
uh, you go and see some of these places and you just go, wow.
Mm-hmm.
You just you just can't believe that these buildings are still standing today after
Yes.
so many years.
Yes.
And the culture. I find the people are very, very friendly.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
uh, you know.
And how is your Spanish? I know that that yeah, you've been studying Duolingo. Are you still
Yeah, and
keeping
I
up with
stopped.
that?
No, no.
Oh, okay, okay.
I got there and I just started thinking that it really wasn't the type of Spanish I
Mm,
wanted to learn. It was talking a lot about school, university.
mm,
It didn't. I wanted the basic Spanish.
Mm-hmm.
Like, sit down, have dinner, talk, just everyday talk. You know,
Mm-hmm.
I know the few words here and there, but
Mm-hmm.
I think I just I get along.
Please leave a comment. Tell us what you think. And if you like the video, click the like button. And if you know somebody that might want to hear about Brian, click the share button.
You
Okay.
know, you
Okay.
know. Somehow I sat down in Puerto Lavardo at a table and invited two ladies to sit down with me, and they were not too bad in English, but they understood me and I understood them,
Uh-huh.
and we had a fantastic conversation, and
Mm-hmm.
they were so friendly. I actually even offered to marry either one of them.
Okay.
Yeah,
Ah, good for you, Brian.
yeah.
Good for you. Um, the building that I live in, but there must be about 400 people living here. I'm going to say 99% of them are Canadians. Is there a reason why so many Canadians live down here or come down here and spend 6 months a year?
Of course, the winter.
Okay.
Yeah. Um, Not this winter. Winter before, we
Mm-hmm.
had 10-foot snow drifts in the middle in the meridian lane of the streets, and
Mm-hmm.
you couldn't see across the street. You couldn't. They were so high and bitter cold. Like we had some days where it was minus 45 and with a minus 50 wind chill, and oh yeah, it no two ways about it. The people, they leave Winnipeg and they go down there and they just say gonna love this beautiful country, and if I wish I would have done this so many years ago.
Uh-huh.
You
Uh-huh.
know,
Uh-huh.
oh, my friend that lives in he loves it there,
Mm-hmm.
but they're talking about the peso being yeah, kind of hurting right now.
You mean it's getting stronger?
The peso's getting stronger, and the Canadian dollar is just collapsing.
Okay.
I think what something I think I read was 12.9 pesos to one Canadian dollar,
Okay. Okay.
and which is terrible.
Okay.
I believe it's terrible. That's not very good.
Okay. Yes, I've seen since I've been here. When I got here, the peso was very strong, and then it lost half of its value, which was great. It was like that for 10 years, but for the last year, it has been strengthening quite a bit, which does affect the cost of living.
Yeah.
So,
Oh, yeah. Um, yeah, I know my friend. He owns a condo and he owns a house in Ahihi, and
okay.
he rents them out. So
Okay.
he was a businessman. He's doing quite well for himself, and his wife has a business, which I don't think she's ever going to retire from.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. So are you retired, and what was your occupation before you
Well,
retired?
my occupation was mainly warehouse working. I was a manager at golf cart businesses, selling
Mhm.
parts for golf carts
Okay.
for the golf
Okay.
courses.
Okay.
And then later on in life, my wife decided, well, we're going to try something totally different. We bought a little diner,
Mhm. Oh.
and it was very unique. It was out in Alberta, and it was in the middle of nowhere.
Mhm.
And we had it was a great big parking lot, and they had the washrooms there. They had you could take your pets for a walk. You could, and we were the diner, and we had homemade food and very
Mm-hmm.
good food.
Mm-hmm.
And we had a sign-in book, and I looked at it several years later, and I basically thought we had the world. We everybody from around the world was in our diner.
We have a new Facebook group. It's called Mexico Expats. Bill, Dallas, Lewis. Come and leave your comments, post your images and your videos, and tell us about your joy of living in Mexico. A link to that Facebook group is in the description below.
And it was a very amazing experience. The biggest experience that I had with this diner is I walked outside and I turned to my right, and here's this guy standing there, and there's this baby buffalo, baby buffalo, sucking on his thumb. I mean, we're again, like things like this, we were talking on Saturday about things in Mexico, what you see. in Canada, you'd never see this.
Okay.
And it was the cutest little thing. It had the littlest horns. It was just a baby, but it was big, and I loved it.
Oh.
But we had people from around the world, and as you know, and happy-go-lucky us, we welcome people, and if somebody saw something that we had, like a knickknack, we give it to them.
Okay.
Yeah, we had a man from Australia, and he saw a bear, a mounted police bear that we had, and he said, "Oh, my daughter would absolutely love that." My wife went and grabbed it and says, "Here you go."
Oh.
And she says, "How much?" We said, "No, present from Canada."
Oh.
That's so we've had a lot of fun. But we're divorced now, like I said, and I got one son. He does missionary work. He goes around Latin America.
Okay.
He goes mainly Cuba. He spent many years in Cuba, and then he's actually going next week to Costa Rica.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's the type of work my son does. This ministry.
How old is he?
36.
36. Does he speak Spanish? He's going to all those Latin American
Fluent.
countries.
Fluent.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I told him and his wife should move to Mexico because they're one of the people that do business on a computer.
Okay. Yeah.
And I told him, move to Mexico. It's not that far from Cuba.
No.
And so they can go back and forth to Cuba. And I said, you could speak Spanish. I mean, he's 100% fluent. I mean, yeah.
Okay.
And yeah, so.
Now, people talk about how Mexico is not safe. What are your thoughts on that? What would you tell people about the feeling you had about you've been in many places in Mexico? Did you have safety concerns? Did you have problems with safety? Tell us about that.
We had at a I don't know what you call it. I guess it was a pullover, and the federales were set up there, and they had out their big guns, and it actually scared me. And there was a bulletin board, and there was an article saying that there was a major shootout. A lot of cartel members were killed at this site a couple of years before. And of course, we couldn't speak Spanish, so the families said, "Just don't say nothing. We'll do all the speaking for you." But it was nerve wracking seeing these guys standing there with their semi-automatic
Oh,
machine
yeah.
guns.
Uh-huh.
I mean, because you don't see that in Canada,
Yeah,
not
okay.
at all.
Uh-huh.
You know, but talk about violent. I laugh when I hear people. My brother-in-law said, "Brian, why do you go to Mexico? Because it's so dangerous." I says, "Alan, do you read the newspaper about Winnipeg?
Ooh.
Every day, 7 days of the week, there's at least 2 to 3 homicides a day. So is it safe here? No, no, not at all. And it's getting terrible here. And you know what? If it if it happens, an accident happens in Mexico, hey, it happens.
Yeah.
But I don't do drugs. I
Mm-hmm.
don't go out into those shady places,
Mm-hmm.
you know. So I don't fear it all. Not
Okay.
at all. And
Mm-hmm.
I've seen the big police out and about in Puerto Vallarta. One weekend they were out patrolling pretty heavy. And
Mm-hmm.
I asked somebody, I says, "Is this normal?" And he said, "Well, something could be going on, you know." But I didn't worry about it. But there's nowhere safe in this entire world anymore. Nowhere.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a very funny thing about Canada because I don't I mean, being a US citizen, I watch a lot of US news, and US news uh, they don't report anything bad about Canada. They never say there's murders, they don't say there are robberies. It's just like in my head, other than talking to Canadians telling me about, murders and all that kind of stuff, I would think that Canada is like just it's almost like heaven, nothing nothing wrong happens in Canada. It's just peaceful and quiet all the time.
I
Canada.
I think I think what it is where the difference is in the United States they have more mass shootings.
Okay.
Where in Canada, we don't see a lot. It has happened a couple times, but we don't see the mass shootings here in Canada like we do in Mex or in the United States.
Okay.
Every day there's a mass shooting of 4 people or 20 people, and like the one in Vegas where there was 50 people killed and
Yes.
hundreds of injured.
Yeah.
We don't see that here. So
Okay.
that's the big difference. Is
Okay.
I think it's the mass shootings,
Okay.
but there's
So,
murders every day.
oh yeah. So you're considering moving down here. You're definitely coming back. And like people say, oh, don't go to Mexico because it's so dangerous. If people that are hesitant to visit Mexico or to move to Mexico, what kind of advice can you give these people?
Don't don't hesitate. Go. It's a beautiful country. So much culture. So much beauty. Um, and the food is incredible. I mean, the food is absolutely incredible. And if you're afraid to go to leave your hometown, my God, you're missing out so much. You know, I mean, I wouldn't recommend somebody go to Haiti or something like that right now, but you know, but no, go to Mexico. You'll never be sorry. And if you are sorry, then you're missing out.
Oh. And I'm almost out of questions, Brian, but one question on my list is, do you have a favorite Mexican food or things that you like to come down here and eat?
Well, when I was in PV, I was at a bar
Mm-hmm.
because it was right around the literally around the corner from where I was staying at the Airbnb.
Okay.
And I walked in there, and this place was busy. It was called Nacho's Daddy,
Oh,
and it was a sports bar.
okay.
And the people were so friendly.
Uh-huh.
Oh, I met so many so many Americans, a lot of Canadians,
Uh-huh.
and I had a enchilada. Never had
Oh.
one before. Never.
Oh.
And
Oh.
I'll tell you, the next 3 days, that's
Uh,
all I ate.
oh, yeah.
Enchilada.
Ah.
Oh, yeah. And it was incredible. But I'm a food eater. There's very few things I'm fussy about.
Okay.
I'll try almost any anything once. I've had
Yeah.
octopus, I've had alligator, I've had
Mm-hmm.
squid, and the seafood stuff, and I don't mind it.
Okay.
But it's I gotta say, and I'm hoping she is watching, Miss Sam. If you're watching, I will
Oh.
be there someday to dance with you.
Oh, that's great. And for those of you that don't know, Miss Sam, we go live every Saturday at 10 a.m. Central, and Miss Sam joins us almost every week with Brian, and he's talking to her.
And plus everybody else on the Bill Lewis channel.
Oh,
I love this channel, and I've taken a liking to you. There's so many YouTubers out there that I've looked at,
mm-hmm.
but just something says I gotta wait. I wake up Saturday morning. Watching my clock. 10 o'clock. Come on, hurry up!
Oh,
And I'm there, and I may not say a lot at times, but
mm-hmm.
I'm just watching, listening to what everybody else is saying.
Oh, thanks, Brian. Thank you so
Yeah,
much.
yeah.
What time is it right now where you are?
20 to 1.
Okay. So you're
So you must
so
be.
you're central, you're Chicago time. You're central
Yeah,
time. Oh, okay.
yeah.
Okay. Okay. So Brian, I'm getting ready to wrap this up, but what what did I leave out? What didn't I ask that you would like to tell the people before we go?
I think we covered pretty well, everything. Um, One of the things I want to say is hope your move to Morelia
Mhm.
goes fantastic. I hear it's beautiful.
Mhm.
Well, is there anywhere that's not beautiful in Mexico?
Yeah.
Even these small little towns with their rattlesnake skin hanging down. I've seen all that stuff. Yeah, and we were talking about motorcycles. One of the best ones on the motorcycle was a guy. There was two people on a motorcycle,
Mhm.
and the guy had a, a bed strapped to his back.
Okay.
I'm going, how can this guy be on a bike and with a mattress on his back? And it is just, I just love it. Yeah,
Yeah.
you
Yeah,
don't see it. You just can't. You don't. It would never happen here
uh-huh.
because first sign of cops, you're pulled over. You're not allowed to do that. Yeah.
All right. All right. Well, we call him Brian Pretty Boy Maiden. Thank you very much for joining us today. And
Oh, it's been my pleasure.
Can't wait for you to get down here. When you're coming down, we'll have to hook up.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
All right. Okay. Adios, Brian. I'm going to.
Adios.
Oh, now stay. We go live every Saturday at 10 a.m. Central Time. That's Chicago time. We get together and we talk about the joys of living in Mexico. Click that subscribe button and you'll get a notification. Thank you so much, Brian Meadon, for joining us today and sharing with us the joys of living in Mexico. We have many more videos to come. Click that subscribe button and we'll see you in the next video.